Good evening and welcome to the fourth pillar, where we bring you the latest and most important news from India and around the world. I'm your AI anchor. Here are the top 15 stories making headlines today. Let's begin with national news. Starting with our national news segment, here are the top 5 stories you need to know. Haryana tragedy, mistaken identity leads to death. In Haryana, a tragic incident occurred where a class 12 student was shot dead after being mistaken for a cow smuggler. The event has sparked widespread outrage and highlighted the dangers of vigilante justice. India begins pre-consultations for COP29. India has initiated pre-consultation meetings ahead of the COP29 climate summit, which will be held in Baku, Azerbaijan. The government is preparing its stance on crucial issues like the Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, CBAM. Supreme Court to hear pleas on Uniform Civil Code. The Supreme Court is set to hear petitions related to the implementation of a Uniform Civil Code, UCC. This case could have far-reaching implications for India's legal system and social fabric. Rising dengue cases in Haryana. Haryana has issued a statewide health alert due to a sharp rise in dengue cases, particularly in Faridabad and Panchkula. The government is stepping up efforts to control the outbreak. New initiatives for farmers amid rising costs. The Indian government has announced several new initiatives to support farmers, including subsidies and loan waivers, in response to challenges posed by erratic monsoon patterns and rising input costs. Now, let's take a look at the top international stories making headlines. India's UPI expands internationally. India's Unified Payments Interface, UPI, is expanding into international markets, starting with partnerships in Southeast Asia and the Middle East. This move positions India as a global leader in digital payments. Kamala Harris faces backlash over rally accent. In the United States, Vice President Kamala Harris is facing criticism after using a different accent during a Labor Day rally in Detroit. The incident has sparked a wave of online memes and discussions. Gunman targets West Indian American Day Parade. In New York, a gunman opened fire during the West Indian American Day Parade, leaving 5 people injured. The NYPD is currently investigating the incident. Prince Harry's surprise visit to the UK. Prince Harry made a surprise visit to the UK, attending his uncle's funeral just days before the anniversary of Princess Diana's death. His visit has generated significant media attention. COP29 preparations underway. As COP29 approaches, countries around the world are ramping up their preparations for the climate summit, with India taking a proactive role in the discussions. Shifting our focus to the business world, here are the latest updates. Major push for electric vehicles in India. India is accelerating its push towards electric vehicles, EVs, with new policies aimed at boosting EV adoption. The government is offering increased incentives for manufacturers and consumers alike. India's stock market performance. The Indian stock market saw mixed results today, with ITC and Bajaj Finserv emerging as top gainers, while Tata Motors and Wipro faced losses. Government to decide on CBAM levies. India is expected to take a crucial decision on the implementation of Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, CBAM, levies, which could impact international trade and environmental policy. New reforms in Indian education sector. The Indian government has announced new reforms aimed at improving education infrastructure and teacher training, with a focus on digital classrooms and rural education. OP expansion and financial technology growth. India's Unified Payments Interface, OP, continues to grow, with plans to expand its reach internationally, setting a new benchmark in financial technology. Sports news. Now, let's move on to sports, where there's a lot happening both on and off the field. Indian cricket team prepares for ICC World Cup. The Indian cricket team is in the final stages of preparation for the upcoming ICC World Cup. Fans are hopeful that the team will bring home the trophy, with final strategies being refined. And that wraps up our coverage for today. These are the top stories shaping India and the world at large. Thank you for joining us on the fourth pillar. Stay tuned for more updates, and until next time, stay informed and stay safe.